Shabbos, dear community family, as the world condition continues to be so fraught with doubt, anxiety, trepidation, not knowing what the next moment will bring, we continue to read in the Torah the development of the Jewish people and how they came to be and the foundations upon which they were based. In this week's Torah portion, Vayetze, the key character is Jacob, Yaakov. We read about Abraham, we read about Isaac, and now the story comes to Yaakov, the center point of the Jewish people, to such a degree that he is later named Israel. The name Israel comes from the name of our father Yaakov. He's running for his life, pursued by a wrathful, vengeful, hateful brother who has made a commitment to murder him. On the way, his nephew reaches him, his Esau's son Eliphaz, threatens to kill him, and by God's miracle, he gives him all of his possessions. And he says, "Please leave me alone, do not kill me." And he runs for his life. And he comes to his future father-in-law's home, his uncle's home actually, Lavan, known as the thief, the cheater, the fraudulent person, who also will do anything for self-preservation, for power, for ego, for wealth, and God forbid, threatens at some point to kill Jacob. Where he lives is called Chodom, the most degenerate place in the world. The name itself says that it evokes God's wrath. That's how they lived. They lived in the most vile fashion. Jacob had to take Rivka out of that place at the age of 3, because otherwise she would have been physically contaminated, utilized, just like using a princess to satisfy one's carnal, basic animal needs. That's the environment. He is lied to multiple times. He is threatened multiple times. He is given every challenge that you can imagine in order to sustain, to such a degree that he has to use extraordinary intellectual capacity, scientific knowledge, to gate the herds of sheep that was coming to him, but that Laban made sure that would not be his in a miraculous fashion. And the Torah tells us that. First case of real genetic choice in how to breed animals that are different from their mothers and fathers. Jacob accomplishes that. And then he is threatened because he becomes extremely wealthy. And he gives birth to almost all of the tribes. 10 of the tribes, 11 of the tribes are born in this portion. The future of the Jewish people, in that challenging space, in that difficult environment, escapes at night because he's afraid that we're going to kill him, runs with his family, is pursued, and Laban meets him and wants to kill him. And only by God's intervention do they walk away, shaking hands, so to speak, and having a witness that they will not hurt each other. From that moment, he's also extremely filled with anxiety because he will not meet the second evil human in his life, actually the worst, his brother, coming with an army of men, as after a long hiatus from his family's home, he's coming back to Israel. Filled with challenges, threatened with death, and in that environment, he becomes the most successful. It's in that environment that he gives birth to the 12 tribes. It is in that environment that he takes on the role of Jacob, our father. It is there that he shows us the greatest success. It's because the Jew does not live by nature. He lives with beyond nature powers. And even though it seems that there's so much against us, everywhere we go they don't like us. Everywhere we go there's another challenge. Everywhere we open the door there's somebody else that wants to kill us. Nonetheless, we sustain and we become successful and reach the highest levels higher than before. Jacob ran away, an individual who was looking to save his life, and he walks out of there with an entire family, prepared to go into the world and to impact the world as the Jew must do. We have a tremendous opportunity today. We Jewish people have woken up. The lion has awoken. We have an opportunity. We can live up to the expectations that Almighty God has for us. He did not choose us because we will fail. He chose us because just as God is eternal, so are we eternal. But when we have to get that into our mindset and have our thinking pattern like that, to know that whatever happens, the closer we get to our spiritual source, the more committed we are to our being God's chosen people, and the way that He intended, the more successful we will be, the less worried we will be, the more we will impact the world in a positive way, and we will continue in our mission to be the light unto the nations. And when we shine the light and darkness dissipates, the rats run, the cowards run, and they operate in darkness. And then we will prepare the world for the ultimate peaceful coming of Mashiach, where the entire world would be at peace, at rest, and live with kindness, tolerance, and goodness to each other. Shabbat Shalom.